Top of the World is made possible in part by a grant from the Blanche and J. Morton Foundation.
This is London, and tonight a bigger than ever welcome to viewers around the world to this, the first ever final of Top of the World. After a 12-week battle over the satellites linking America, Australia and Europe, we're now less than 30 minutes away from finding out our first world champion and the winner of this unique prize, our vintage Rolls-Royce 20 Cabriolet. Now, throughout the competition, I've been firing questions around the world to find a champion in Miami, USA, Sydney, Australia, and London, UK. Tonight, the three champions meet face to face right here for a final fight to the finish in London. So let's meet the three contestants from the three continents. First, from his home city of Sydney and making his first ever trip over the world to Europe, the Anglican minister who became 3 times champion of Australia, Jeff Clark. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you, Alan.
Please sit yourself down. Hope you had a good trip on that first trip.
Yes, very nice, thanks.
And a very exciting night ahead of us. Good luck to you now. Next, the young man who reached top of the world way back in week 3 and remained top scorer for the United Kingdom for 9 weeks. Insurance broker from Birkenhead on Merseyside, James Eccleston. Welcome. Well, James, you didn't have so far to come, but it's just as nerve-wracking, I suspect.
Yes.
And finally, the writer whose knowledge of the works of Ellery Queen won him a place in tonight's final, and for the first time in his life, has flown across the Atlantic from his home city of New York, Bill DeAndrea. Welcome, Bill. Well, it's great to have 2 first-time visitors to our fair shows. Did you have a good trip?
Yes, and it's been nice since I got here, too, so it's been wonderful.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, we can have only one winner. These are our challengers. And first, may I point out that while some of you might think that James has the advantage of being on his home ground, Jeff knows that he has the support of viewers across Australia from Sydney to Perth, while rooting for Bill and America are viewers coast to coast from New York to Los Angeles and from the Gulf of Mexico to and into Canada. Not to mention, of course, supporters I gather from all 3 countries right here in our studio, yes? You're all welcome. As ever, there are 3 sections to our quiz: knowledge of all 3 countries, your chosen subject, and world knowledge. Now, a slight change for the final. We'll deal with each country separately. First questions on Australia for all 3 of you, and we start with Jeff Clark, whose 66 points for Australia was the highest score throughout the knockout rounds. Jeff, questions to you, first of all, on your own country. What was the name of the plane that in 1928 made the first trans-Pacific flight?
Southern Cross.
Yes, this is the floral emblem of Western Australia. What is the flower called?
Kangaroo Paw.
It is. Which Australian runner won the gold medal for 1,500 metres at the 1960 Rome Olympic Games?
John Landy.
No, Herb Elliott. Next, James Eccleston. Your top score, James, was 64. So here we go with 3 questions to test your knowledge on Australia. Which city was destroyed by a cyclone in 1974?
Darwin.
Yes, it was. What is the name of this major river of Australia which flows from the mountain called the Pilot to Lake Alexandrina on the sea?
Murray. Darwin.
Yes, it is. In cricket, which Australian bowler took 33 test wickets during the 1974-75 series against England?
Dennis Lilly.
No, Jeff Thompson. Now, Bill to Andrea. Bill, your best score was 51 points, but all here, of course, start even tonight, so it's your turn now with 3 questions on Australia. What is the name of the stretch of water between Australia and Tasmania?
The Tasman Strait.
No, the Bass Strait. This is the Parliament building of Victoria. In which city is it?
Melbourne.
Aha, the time beat you. It is Melbourne. The British-born girl who grew up in Australia sang the recent hit song, Physical. Who is she?
Olivia Newton-John.
It is indeed. Well, now questions on the United Kingdom. Again, starting with you, Jeff Clark. Which British politician who died on the 8th of March, 1982, has been described as the best Prime Minister Britain never had?
Ray Butler.
Yes, it was. This island off the coast of Northumberland was the site of a monastery built in the 7th century by St. Aidan. What is the name of the island?
Holy Island.
Yes, it is. A good question for you. What general name is given to the eviction of Scottish Highland crofters in the second half of the 18th century to make way for sheep?
The Highland Clearances.
You are correct. James Eccleston, 3 questions for you on your own country. In the Second World War, what did the initials ARP stand for?
Air raid precautions.
Precautions. Yes, this abbey is in a town on the Tyne, 20 miles west of Newcastle. What is the town called?
No.
Hexham. What name did the press baron Alfred Harmsworth take when he was raised to the peerage?
Lord Rothermere.
No, Lord Northcliffe. Now, Bill to Andrea, your United Kingdom questions. What is the name by which the fashion model and film actress Leslie Hornby is always known?
Twiggy.
Yes. Chiswick House in West London is a copy of the Villa Rotonda in Vicenza in Italy. Who designed the Italian original?
Michelangelo.
No, Andrea Palladio. Which English writer who died in 1943 invented for children such characters as Peter Rabbit, Benjamin Bunny, and Jemima Puddle Duck?
Beatrix Potter.
You are right. Finally, questions on America, Jeff Clark. The author of The House of Usher was buried in Baltimore. Who was he?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes, this building was defended to the death after a siege in February and March of 1836. What is the siege called?
Oh, the Alamo.
Yes. Who was inaugurated as president of the Provisional Confederate Government in February 1861 at Montgomery, Alabama?
Jefferson Davis.
Jefferson Davis is correct. Now, James Eccleston, 3 questions on the America for you. Which American was the Teddy who gave his name to the teddy bear?
Roosevelt.
Yes. This Wren Church from the City of London and statue of Churchill stand in the town where Churchill made his famous Iron Curtain speech in 1946. Which town is it?
Fulton.
It is. Who painted the Blue Boy, once in the National Gallery in London and now in the Huntington Gallery, California?
Gainsborough.
Gainsborough is correct. Bill, your questions on your own country. What was abolished by the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution?
Slavery.
Yes, it was. This is John Ringling's house called Kazan, based on the design of the Doge's Palace. In which Florida city is it?
Sarasota.
It is. Which former American First Lady served as chairman of the United Nations Human Rights Commission from 1948 to 1951?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
You are right, and at the end of round 1, the scores are Jeff Clark for Australia with 8 points, and James Eccleston and Bill tying with 6 points each for the UK and the USA. Well, now, round 2, in which the challengers return to the chosen subjects that helped them win through. In this round, each question is worth 2 points. First to Jeff Clark. Jeff, you have 2 minutes to answer as many questions as you can on your chosen subject of English literature, 1801 to 1830. Which of Keats' poems, written in 1819, tells of the lovers Madeline and Porphyro?
The Eve of St. Agnes.
Yes, in which of Jane Austen's novels do Mr. and Mrs. Allen take the heroine to Bath for the season?
Northanger Abbey.
Yes, which of Shelley's poems, published in 1816, has the subtitle The Spirit of Solitude?
Alastor.
Yes, what is the name of the Lord of the Isles in Scott's poem of that name?
Lord Ronald.
You're right. What is the name of the first of the essays of Elia by Charles Lamb?
Pass.
The South Sea House. Byron's poem, Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, is written in Spenserian stanzas. How many lines are there in a Spenserian stanza?
9.
Yes. Samuel Taylor Coleridge writes of a stately pleasure dome. Who ordered it to be built?
Kubla Khan.
Yes. Of whom was William Hazlitt writing when he referred to an Adonis of 50?
George IV, the Prince Regent.
No, Leigh Hunt. Which Scottish poet wrote Gertrude of Wyoming?
Campbell, Thomas.
Yes. In which weekly periodical did Keats' first published poem appear in May 1816?
The Examiner.
Yes. Lady Diana Cooper called her memoirs The Rainbow Comes and Goes. From which of Wordsworth's poems does this quotation come?
The Ode on the Intimation of Immortality.
Yes. Southey published a poem in 1805 about the son of a Welsh king who sails for Western. Madoc is right. The mountains look on Marathon, and Marathon looks on the sea. From which of Byron's poems does that
Don
line
Juan.
come? Yes. The man known as the Ettrick Shepherd wrote The Queen's Wake. Who was he?
James Hogg.
Yes. 2 of Jane Austen's novels were published in 1818. Northanger Abbey was one. What was the
Persuasion.
other? Yes. Name the Irish-born poet who wrote Oft in the Stilly Night.
Moore, Thomas Moore.
Yes. In which year did Scott publicly acknowledge authorship of Waverley?
1826.
1826? No. No, 1827. In which magazine did installments of Mary Russell's Mitford's Our Village first appear?
The London Magazine.
No, the Ladies' Magazine. In which of Thomas Love Peacock's novels do Foster, Escott, and Jenkinson appear? And you may answer.
Melancourt.
No, Headlong Hall. But
yeah.
in a great run there, Jeff Clark, you've brought your score to 36 points. That was some going. Now, James Eccleston, 2 minutes of questions on American soul music from 1955 to date. Shop Around was written by Berry Cordy and Smokey Robinson. Which group made it Tamla's first major success?
Miracles.
Yes. Who wrote the songs and scores for the 1972 film Superfly?
Curtis Mayfield.
Yes. Eunice Kathleen Wayman is much better known by another name. What is it?
Nina Simone.
Yes. The song Soul Man was written by Isaac Hayes and David Porter. Which 2 singers made it into a 1967 hit?
Sam and Dave.
Yes. Who made the 1968 hit single Say It Loud, I'm Black and
James
Proud?
Brown.
Yes. For which group did Holland, Dozier, and Holland write Heatwave?
Martha and the Vandellas.
Yes. What was the name of Percy Sledge's first release in 1966, which brought him international
When
fame?
a Man Loves a Woman.
Yes, indeed. Name the songwriter responsible for Aretha Franklin's hit Chain of Fools.
Carole King.
No, Don Covey. Which group had a hit in 1967 with the song We're a Winner?
The Impressions.
Yes. What was the name of Sam Cooke's first hit single released in 1957?
You Send Me.
Yes. Which singer made the 1968 album Lady Soul?
Aretha Franklin.
Yes. Who wrote with Otis Redding the song I've Been Loving You Too Long?
Jerry Butler.
Yes. Who partnered Marvin Gaye in the popular recording of You Are Everything, released in 1973?
Tammy Terrell.
No, Diana Ross. Who wrote and recorded in 1955 the song Hallelujah, I Love Her So?
Ray Charles.
Yes. What 2 words were used to make up the name Motown?
Motor and Town.
Whose album Inner Visions won
Stevie
the...
Wonder.
Yes. On which 1962 album did James Brown's song I'll Go Crazy appear?
Live at the Apollo.
Yes. What do the letters MG stand for in the name of Booker
Memphis Group.
Yes. In 1965, which group's name was particularly associated with the song Stop in the Name of Love?
Supremes.
Yes. Who was dubbed Memphis Queen in 1967?
Carla Thomas.
Yes. Who was called Mr. Pitiful?
Otis Redding.
Yes. Who sang the 1966 classic Stay With Me?
Lorraine Ellison.
Yes, indeed. And with your time up, James Eccleston, your new total is 46 points. Wow. Bill, Andrea, your questions on the works of Ellery Queen. You too have 2 minutes. In the short story, Half a Clue, what was the half clue that Henry Brubbook said as he died?
Ow.
Yes. What was the New York address of Ellery Queen in such books as The Dutch Shoe
West
Mystery?
87th Street.
Yes. In the short story Dead Ringer, what were the letters that were written on the canister that the dead man was clutching?
MIXC.
Yes. At the end of Double Double, who did Ellery wrongly accuse of the murders in order to provoke the real murderer to
Rima.
confess? Yes. In And on the 8th Day, what was the book that the teacher tried to buy and was eventually given at the end of the World Store?
The book of Mk.
The book of what?
MK''H. Mk.
What was it, though?
Oh, it was Mein Kampf.
Mein Kampf. In the Dutch Shoe Mystery, what was the name of the first murder victim?
Dorn.
In the Roman Hat Mystery, what was Bernard Morgan's secret which enabled Monty Thiel to blackmail him?
Illegitimate child.
Yes, at the beginning of The Dragon's Teeth, why did Ellery undergo surgery?
Appendicitis.
Appendicitis?
His appendix
yes,
burst.
all right, peritonitis. In The Adventure of the Emperor's Dice, what material were the dice made of?
Ruby.
Yes, in the short story Man Bites Dog, what object did Judy Starr and Big Bill Tree each put down on the chair between them?
Hot dog.
What?
Frankfurter.
In The Adventure of the Medical Finger, in what kind of business had Richard Troy made his fortune?
Pass.
Greeting card business. Frankfurter was correct. In The Adventure of the African Traveler, what was found among the ashes behind the gas log in the grate?
Pieces of metal.
Not
A
enough.
hook and eye.
Yes, hook and eye, and 8 buttons. Who does Carrie marry at the end of The Dragon's Teeth?
Beau Rummel.
Yes, in Mind Over Matter, what did Ellery leave in Phil McGuire's car when they went to watch the boxing
Overcoat.
match? Yes, in The Adventure of the Gettysburg Bugle, what was the name of the doctor who took Ellery and
Pass.
Mickey... Right, Dr. Martin Strong. The Tragedy of Zed was first published under another pseudonym. What
Barnaby
was it?
Ross.
Barnaby Ross is correct, and Bill DeAndre, you've taken your total to 34 points. Well, everybody in cracking form there, and after 2 rounds, the international scores read James Eccleston in the lead with 46 points, Jeff Clark of Australia with 36, and just behind Bill DeAndre with 34. Now, the final round to see who gets the keys to that beautiful prize. Now, the favorite seems to be at this stage...
To object to a ruling, or should that be done later?
Well, it depends what your objection is. What is it? Go ahead.
The question on who said of whom did Hazlitt say that he was an Adonis of 50? My answer was the Prince Regent, George IV. And I maintain that it was Leigh Hunt who said that of the Prince Regent, not Hazlitt who said that of Leigh Hunt.
Well, in fact, I've been passed information, Jeff, that you are correct, and the phrasing of the question, Hazlitt may well have referred to this phrase as he did. So I propose, if your 2 opponents agree, to add the 2 points to your score now. Is that all right, gentlemen?
Okay.
So that puts our scores at this stage with applause well deserved. Well, it may be a tough contest, but it's a sporting one. So the scoreboard lies 46 James Eccleston, 38 Jeff Clark, 34 Bill DeAndrea, and we move now to the final round for this magnificent prize. Now, don't forget, of course, that this is the killer round where world knowledge demanding not only speed to get in first with the right answer for 3 points, but the courage to risk losing 3 points if the answer is wrong. Now, first, let's check those important buzzers. Jeff Clark for Australia. Yes, that's in fine fettle. James Eccleston for UK. And Bill DeAndrea. Right, here we go. In the board game of drafts or checkers, how many pieces does each? Yes, Australia.
16.
No, 12. You've lost 3 points. In which city is the Wailing Wall? USA.
Jerusalem.
Yes, it is. Melville Dewey died...
Sorry, it's Mr.
Miscue. All right, Melville Dewey died in 1931. In which profession is his influence? Australia.
Education.
Education is not close enough. Which profession? No, I can't give you education. It's, in fact, librarianship. 3 points down. In which country did the food called a taco originate? Yes, USA.
Mexico.
Yes, which country had a prime minister called Keith Holyoake from 1960? Yes, UK.
New Zealand.
Yes. In which country did the Coptic Church originate? Yes, Jeff Clark.
Egypt.
Yes. Which mammal has a gestation period of about 21 months? Yes, Jeff.
The whale.
No, the elephant. 3 points gone again. The Franco-Prussian or Franco-German War of 1870 started after the publication by Bismarck of a certain document. What was, yes?
Telegram.
Yes, M's telegram. On which island is Mount Etna? Australia.
Sicily.
Yes, which Russian physiologist first used the term? Jeff Clark.
Pavlov.
Yes, I didn't even say the term, but that's right, yes. What is the name given to Aeschylus' only extant trilogy of plays?
Sorry.
What is the name given to Aeschylus' only extant trilogy of plays? Jeff Clark.
The Oresteia.
Yes, it is. What is the everyday name for the substance potassium nitrate, which is used, UK?
Gunpowder.
No, is used.
Niter.
Yes, we'll give you niter, because I hadn't finished the question, but niter it is, or saltpeter. The first Nobel Peace Prize was shared. One of the recipients was the founder of the International Red Cross. Yes, UK.
Henri Dunant.
Which religious group was founded in the middle of the 17th century by George... Yes, Australia.
The Quakers.
The Quakers, you're right. What musical instrument has Larry Adler elevated? Yes, James.
The harmonica.
Yes, in 1911, who was the leader of the first expedition to reach...
Amundsen.
Yes, the South Pole. Which chemical element was the first gas to be used in chemical warfare in the First World War? UK.
Phosgene.
No, chlorine. 3 points gone. Which organ of the human body is affected by Meniere's syndrome? Australia.
The ear.
Yes, the ear. In Greek mythology, what was written on the apple that was thrown by Eris? USA.
To the fairest.
Yes, Bill. In which city was the 1958 International Exhibition whose centerpiece? USA.
Brussels.
Yes, was called the Atomium. 1948, what country had in... James?
Oh, sorry. Pressed it by mistake, sorry.
Lost points for doing that, sorry. 3 points gone. What is the shape of a pie chart? Yes, USA.
Round.
Yes, name the German actress who directed the Nazi propaganda film. Yes, USA.
Leni Riefenstahl.
Yes, who wrote the musical score for Eisenstein's film Alexander Nevsky? Yes, James.
Prokofiev.
Yes, you got your points back. Who painted the picture entitled Anatomy Lesson of Dr. Australia?
Rembrandt.
Yes. Which French political theorist of the 19th century first used the phrase, property is theft, to Australia?
Proudhon.
Yes. In printing, what is meant by a swatch letter? USA.
It has an ornamental tail.
That's right. What do the letters REM stand for when referring... Yes, USA.
Rapid eye movements.
Yes. Through which country does the Demerara River flow? Yes, UK.
Guyana.
Yes. The nicknames, the hen, the bear, and the queen. Yes, UK.
Haydn symphonies.
Yes. The year 1687 saw the near destruction of one of the most famous temples in the world. Which one was it? Parthenon in Athens, the Temple of Athene. What is the name of the fretted string musical instrument of India, which UK?
Sitar.
Yes. What allotropic form of carbon is used as a lubricant for heavy machinery? Australia.
Graphite.
Yes. What name is given to the electronic device used to produce visual displays corresponding to electrical signals? USA.
Oscilloscope.
Yes. What name is usually given in English to the members of the secret society in China which attempted to drive foreigners out? UK.
The Boxers.
Yes, it was the Boxers. You've scored 3 points. Oh, and what a finish. You just about got ahead, James, with that last 3, 67. Congratulations. Yes, it was a very good battle by you. Well done. Well done, Billy. Well, that really was a hectic, exciting, fantastic finish. But let me not keep you away from that prize a moment longer. Let me introduce the man who has the happy task of handing over the keys to a man himself. He is, in fact, a man himself who was involved in many exciting scenes like this, behind the scenes, in fact, in televising many a sporting event from the Olympics in Rome and Tokyo to the World Cup in England and Mexico. Director of Thames Television, Mr. Brian Cowgill.
Well, it's certainly been exciting, and it's also been a lot of fun for us here at Thames Television in London to play host to this first ever satellite quiz. And I'd like, if I may, to say a particular thank you to our friends and television colleagues in Miami and with the Australian Broadcasting Commission for their cooperation in establishing what has been a very complicated hookup indeed. What's brought it to life, however, has been the quality of the contestants over some very keenly competitive programs. And I'd like to congratulate all three of tonight's finalists in bringing the competition to such a splendid climax. In particular, our congratulations to the winner. Not as far to go, perhaps, as some. I have the greatest pleasure in handing over the keys, and we'll look out for you on the M1 this weekend. Congratulations to you. Come have a look at it. I'm holding it for you.
Want me to get in here?
Yeah.
What, on the driving seat?
Yes, start over. Make sure it fits.
Well done, and very well done to our two friends here, to all who took part in Top of the World around the world. We really enjoyed every exciting moment of it, and I congratulate all, and I'm saying thank you for all of you who watched as well, and look forward especially to welcoming you back here when we link up with those satellites again to bridge the world in another edition of Top of the World. Bye.
This is the final program in this series. We hope you've enjoyed the series and invite you to tune in to this time slot again for our next offering. Also, please continue to check your local listings, as this series may return at a later date.